Welcome to Bitches in Season, a podcast for everyone who loves dogs,
all things agility,
and some spicy tea.
I'm Lizzie.
I'm Rachel.
And I'm Lindsay.
Bitches in Season.
Hey, bitches.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Hi.
We had to take a week off. We were lazy bitches
Yeah,
who
it was not lazy.
didn't get our shit together. Yeah, Lizzie, you were lazy. You weren't doing anything.
Nothing at all.
Tell us what you were doing. You had this big surprise you couldn't tell us about.
Big surprise. I moved.
You bought a house.
You didn't just move, you bought a house.
We bought a zoo.
Yeah, we bought a house.
Finally, after the most harrowing ordeal and 20,000 rejected offers and bidding wars and nonsense.
Oh my God, it was rough.
More nonsense than any of you could ever even imagine. Whatever kind of nonsense you're imagining and
just
and ordeals.
A million times
times 10,000. And that's what Lizzie went through in the last year.
Yeah.
But you're here.
I'm here.
We're in her new home, in our new podcast recording studio, aka one of the 4 bedrooms in her home, because she's just a dog mom and she doesn't have kids, so she doesn't need all these kids' bedrooms. And dogs have a room.
Yeah,
the dogs have a room.
It's my room too.
It's my room, and then we have a podcast room.
Yeah, obviously,
and a / video game room for Henry.
It's also Henry's video game,
so that he can just be in here yelling when the boys play. Oh yes, we need
baby.
Lots of space for the magic cards. So you've been mad busy moving, doing floors, painting.
My entire office.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
We're so happy for you. And you have a beautiful yard.
I know.
And a beautiful deck. We're going to have so many little hangouts on the deck.
I know. I can't wait. I'm so happy.
We're going to have a dog mom meetup at your house on your deck.
I'm going to sit on that deck all summer.
I know. I am so happy.
Big deck energy.
Big deck energy.
Big deck energy.
So that's why we missed last week. And it's just been busy. I've been busy. I had tryouts in the beginning of the month.
You did.
And now I'm doing no agility for a month, which is fun.
Going to Hawaii for your brother's wedding, which is so exciting.
You're
going to San Francisco and then Hawaii.
Yeah, going on vacation this week, and I can't wait for that. I'm going to miss the doggies, but they'll be in good hands.
You'll be gone for 2 weeks. I'll miss you.
Yeah, and I sucked at tryouts, but...
Oh, stop.
I think I had 1 clean run, got 5th place, got 1 point.
Yeah.
So that was good. I was proud of that run. It was a good one.
That was a good run.
I feel like there was maybe 1 time-wasting area, but other than that, I was proud. And then my other runs were all E's, and I feel like 3 of my 4 E's could have been solved by me just calling Vision's name, which really? just,
Oh, man.
Yeah. And one of them was
that
right at the end.
a little bit more.
Yeah. One of them was 2 obstacles from the end. And I was definitely in that mindset of I have this. I am doing this. I am going to run this run clean. And then he went off course like crazy, but I needed to call him. But anyway, that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's tryouts for you. It's an emotional journey. And I was in a really bad mood that weekend. And then again, I'm like, why am I in a bad mood? Get over yourself. And also tryouts was at home. So
it was at Premiere.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Home turf. And then I got home and I was like, okay, I'm home. I get to hang out with my dogs. It is what it is. I know I could have done better. I know I belong there. I could do those courses. I know he has it in him, and we'll get back there someday. So
for sure.
That's what's going on with us. Oh, Zinni had her first dock diving lesson, and
oh my God, she's going to be amazing.
She took to it like a fish to water, as they say.
Literally.
She loved it, and we're going to do another lesson in June.
She's going to be jumping off the dock in next lesson.
Yeah, taking it slow. She's only 8 months, but she has a new biothane collar that came. Her custom collar came. I can't wait to show you guys. Yeah, it's very cute.
Show us.
It has flowers on it. So you do 1 lesson and something, and then you just have to buy all the gear about it. So that's the way it goes in the dog world.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a dock girl now.
Yeah,
a dock and a deck. Big dock energy, big deck energy. Anyway, Rachel, what's going on for you?
What's going on?
Jesse's broken.
Again.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
It's
She doesn't even want to talk about it, but then I forced her to.
Yeah, I'm probably I don't want to cry.
You don't have to cry.
Yeah. We won't talk about it too much.
She's just
we don't really know what's going on.
We're doing a scope in 2 weeks. So the shoulder that we fixed last year is doing amazing, but then her other shoulder decided to break. So sorry. So, Monday we went to our appointment with our sports med vet and we got the worst news. And, so we scheduled a scope and we're going to do that in 2 weeks. It'll give us some more answers and a very solid game plan, but tentatively we do have 3 PRP sessions scheduled as well. But we're looking at like the earliest that we can get back to agility is September, which sucks.
But I really like what you posted the other day where you were like, anybody who looks at Chessie would be like, oh, she's fine.
Yeah.
And maybe like someone who's not as attentive as you would be like, oh, let's just go back to agility.
Yeah.
She's fine. But
And I
like,
knew she wasn't.
I'm proud of you because you always do the right thing.
Thank you. Yeah, and it's hard because she does appear completely fine, but
It's literally like fucking, it's like OB last year.
I know.
I was like, there's still something wrong with him. There's still something wrong with him. He wasn't limping all the time, but I brought him back to agility and he would do one limp, but he would do, sometimes he wouldn't. And I was like, no, something's wrong with him.
Yep.
Something. And then, a toe.
Yeah. So I just knew in my gut that there was something off and I was right.
We
It's her
know.
other
We know our
shitty
dogs.
shoulder.
So do you think that like something about her shoulders is just like not put together right?
Yeah, and I also, just from talking to Hannah, because I basically feel like I see her every fucking week. I love you, Hannah, but I also hate that I have to see you. Just corgis.
Yeah, that's what
They're
she said
so
to me.
short-limbed
Yeah.
and shoulders just suck on them. Like,
She said that she's really gone back too.
yeah.
So that doesn't help.
Yeah,
She's really.
I mean, she is put together really well. Her rear end is perfect. Like, she's not showing a lot of signs of arthritis. Like, she's put together well, but her shoulders just, and it's also because Chessie doesn't know how to do things in moderation.
Yeah.
Chessie does
She is
things
hard on her body.
Yeah.
Even when you're not hard on her body,
Exactly.
she is hard on
like
her body.
I can give her, I can just do one run in agility with her and she's going to give it 1,000,000%. Like literally cannot do any less. So she's really hard on herself, which just, and just having shitty shoulders just is not a great combo.
Yeah.
But we're hoping we're going to get her back. And at least I have a baby dog.
Yes, you have that Bright Star.
Yeah, that little guy. And we're signed up for 2 seminars, one this coming Monday and then another in June. And we're just going to keep learning and growing together. And he's already so much fun to work with. So he is going to be, a good distraction. And at least I have something to do.
Yeah.
During this time.
Me last year.
Yeah.
Except I was like, I have this stupid puppy that keeps fucking biting me. I wanted to throw him out a goddamn fucking window.
Yeah, Asher doesn't bite me that much. So. Yeah, but he does hop and he does have sharp teeth. So I'm just like waiting
He's
for
just
the
a
moment.
tiny tot.
He's
He's
tiny
just a
baby
tiny guy.
You never know what he's gonna do. But thanks for sharing. I know it's super hard, but you know, there might be people listening out there who are going through the same thing.
It's just a reality.
So.
Like it sucks, but like, I know I talked to so many people when I posted it in my Instagram story, people dealing with injuries or, mystery injuries that they've been dealing with for months and months and months. So I know I'm not alone and I know that there's other people going through these struggles and it's just like.
And when you share it, it makes them feel not alone too. So
and I know it's not forever. And she is not dying. So she's going to be fine.
Yeah. It's like, it's crazy because the things that like, really bring us down as agility people, like the average pet person would be like, whatever. Like,
they're just limping a little bit.
Like,
it's fine.
They'll be fine.
Yeah.
But, you're doing the right thing by her and you're not pushing it. We know people who do push it too hard and wouldn't take it as seriously as you are. So you're doing the right thing.
A lot of them.
Yeah, sadly.
So.
Thanks.
But let's get into a great topic today. And thanks for sharing about our lives.
Yeah. All right.
So we are excited to once again have a very special guest join us. And this is someone who I met through, I don't even know how we met. I think the first time we met was maybe at a UKI Cup, maybe the Southeast Cup. And I came up to you and I was like, hey, I made the WAO team.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was it. She was like, yeah, like I'll be on the team this year too. And sort of like we probably clicked and had like a similar vibe there and thought we were cool. And then they ended up this person, this mystery person and their husband ended up in the apartment hotel room sort of thing underneath me. And then we just became besties for life. And then I introduced my other bestie here, Rachel, to this person. So without further ado, we're going to be happy and excited and thrilled to introduce Sarah Rutland. Say hi, Sarah.
Hello.
Hi.
And so, Sarah and I were on the WAO team together with Primo and Vision, and we stayed in the same place. We shared some marijuana, we shared some laughs, we shared some tourism, and just generally had a great time there. And I adored hanging out with you, and I know you're the type of person who, like, through and through cares so deeply about your PAPS, your breeding program. And when Rachel was sort of considering, like, what are we going to do about the next dog, I think I put the bug in your ear, like, reach out to Sarah.
I definitely saw the ad for the litter posted. It was like right around the US Open time of last year.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, she's probably so fucking busy. But I reached out. I like sent you a message and I was like, hey, I don't know what your wait list looks like, but like also I'm interested. And you were like, yeah, I'm so busy. I'm at the Open. I'll get back to you. And then you never did. And I was like, oh man. And then I was like, I'm going to reach out again. and then that's when you reached out to Lindsay and you're like, hey, what's up with
this psycho?
Yeah.
Do you know this bitch?
Do you know this bitch?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of on trend. I got busy. Like, I get busy and it's like, and half the time I'll need to like leave something unread so that I'll like see that mark and I'll have to go back and read it. So like, that makes sense. But I remember you because I remember Chessie from the year that you were at the US Open, because she's brilliant and her little butt is just so cute and she runs. I can't handle it.
Memorable butt.
Yeah.
True.
So we're super excited to have you on, because I don't think we've ever had a guest who has started like a breeding program or has really bred dogs to my memory. But I just think that's like kind of a whole other element of being a crazy dog bitch that we're excited to dig into. You're like nodding and
You're like,
pointing,
yeah.
like eyes walk, like
Another level.
It's
on a whole other level. So I'm really excited to kind of get into it with you, but I want to start with you just sort of telling us about yourself and how did you even get into PAPS and like, what do you do for people who don't know you? Primo to me is like the notorious PRIMO, but maybe not everybody is familiar.
It's true. So I guess in agility, like, I started pretty much a ridiculously long time ago. I didn't realize that it would ever be important to remember the date, but we think it was around 1988.
We're born.
I know. I was a junior handler. And so my mom had a friend. I wasn't allowed to have dogs because my parents were allergic. I know that's a similar story to you ladies. But they had a friend and I rode horses. That's a lot of dog people's stories. And my mom's friend had these standard poodles and she was doing this new thing called agility on Friday nights. And she said, oh, you should have Sarah come. And I did. And I mean, I was hooked. I was, of course, lucky. I mean, in my area, it was Linda Mecklenburg that was running the Friday night agility.
Like,
I know.
The literal God who wrote the Bible.
Yeah.
Literally wrote the book on jumping. We can say that truly and factually, yes. But I gave up every Friday night up until I was in high school. It didn't matter, if it was a football game or whatever. I was going to train some dogs, and so
like a normal teenager.
Yeah. Every normal teenager does, like, and then it was fun because these, I don't want to say the good old days, but it was so easy. Like, we didn't know what really was happening. It's like, okay, get in front of your dog, or like cross behind your dog. There weren't like terms, which is something that I still struggle with. Like, if someone says a term, I'm like, what is that again? And you think I would know it, but I know how to do it. But so that's where I started. And then
wait. So hilariously, I don't know if you want me to tell this, but one time you showed me this really funny picture of you as a junior and you were like super kind of like kind of brooding and like looking a little like a little moody, broody. Right.
So
then you were side by side with like sparkly blonde Jen Crank.
Yeah. So it's funny because like in this day and age, most people wouldn't understand that is physically the only picture that I have of me doing agility. I have no other pictures, right? I have no video. Like it wasn't, you didn't, you had a camcorder on your shoulder back then. Yeah, I kind of sometimes joke that at one point I was taller than Jen Crank. And if people have seen both of us, I am very far from it. But like, I think she was like barely born, or like, I remember seeing her when she was like maybe 2 years old. But yeah, it was funny because in that specific picture, I was a dark and brooding teenager. And it's funny, I think it was a third place ribbon or something. And she's in the middle with 2 shell tees and 2 blue ribbons. And I was just like, it's just preparing me for the future. It's cool. Yeah.
That's actually so funny.
That is funny.
Like,
Absolutely.
hang that in a museum of agility because that's so funny.
Yeah. And I don't even have that physical picture. It's just a picture. I think Susan Crank found it in her basement and was like, oh my God. And I was like, oh my God.
That is hilarious. Okay, I love hearing about junior Sarah because I can just totally imagine you, like, and your whole vibe, but like as an
Then right next
agility
to
little
Jen,
girl.
yeah.
Oh yeah. So vibey. Like, trust me. Like, yeah, it was definitely interesting. You know, I left agility fairly abruptly. I did disappear at one point because it does. You know, teenage pregnancy does happen. But yeah, that happened and I disappeared. And then, yeah, I popped back up at like one of our club, like just regular local trials. And I swear I walked in and it was like ladies were standing up from their crating area, like that gopher whack it game. Like just people were popping up over and over. Because I also, if people haven't met me, I kind of stand out.
Yeah.
Because I'm covered in tattoos. I have piercings. I had dreadlocks that were like 5 feet long at one point. I did take down an upright at one point. Yeah.
Not the typical agility lady look, especially in Ohio, I imagine.
Yeah, especially in Ohio. Yeah.
That is so funny. So what brought you back? Like, what was the magnetism back to the sport?
So Lizzie, you'll appreciate this. I had an Aussie.
No way. You have to see my face.
Yes.
Oh,
There you are. I had an Aussie and he was a rescue. His name was Laddie. And he needed to do something. Let's just say.
They do.
Yeah. So I basically, like, when I had him, he was, you know, a couple years old. He had some, you know, quirks and some, you know, things about him. But I ended up just going back to the kennel club that I started at. And, you know, it was great. And he enjoyed it. He was technically a reactive dog, but he never acted like it. A lot of people didn't know he could, you know, train in the same ring with everybody. But it's just like, you know, I just needed to advocate for him that he might need more space. Like, he'd be fine standing next to dogs, but if a dog was like staring at him, it's like, they're going to be around me to just don't notice me too much.
Don't perceive me.
Yeah. Look past me, not at me.
Honestly, staring is fucking rude. So
Exactly.
if someone was staring you down on the street, you'd be like, what? Like, do you want to go?
Yeah.
So you had a rescue Aussie. Then what? Tell us the rest of the lore.
So I had a rescue Aussie. I kind of joke, it's like my little band of misfit toys because I did all rescue. And I came upon a little Brussels Griffon that really needed me. She was absolutely amazing. And she was a Brussels Griffon. And like I said, I mean, like, they're shaped like a bumblebee. They're not very aerodynamic. They should not be able to fly. But my Stella, man, she flew. She was so cool. And then I ended up getting a purposely bred Griff. He is 12 now. And yeah, I ended up losing Stella in a pretty traumatic way.
Oh no.
I know, it was awful. I was out of the country and she had gone missing and it was awful. I mean, like, my heart already, it was like 9 years ago and I still like get a physical reaction, but she'd gone missing. I was overseas for work. And, you know, one thing that was really incredible about that moment was my agility community. I can't tell you how well those people just stood up.
Yeah.
It was during Memorial Day. And actually, I want to say it was 3,000 flyers that my agility community handed out at my little town's memorial parade. It was amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Really cool.
Wow. That's how the community is, though. Like, they really show up for people. I feel like I see that a lot.
And the thing is, it's like, we all have differences. You know, we all have differences of opinion and all that stuff. But it's like, one thing that I think is a universal thread that people forget is that we all really love dogs. And it would seem super obvious, but I don't think it is. And when something happens with someone's dog, like I watched it with my teammate Han and her dog Sky.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, you just go there for your people.
Yeah. And I feel like maybe more so for the dogs than the people. Like I feel like maybe they'd go to the ends of the earth to do anything for the well-being of a dog. I might be lying in a ditch, but the dog. No, I'm just kidding. But but I agree with you that it definitely is rooted in like the love of dogs.
Yeah. And it's the same thing. Like, we get our dogs massages and chiropractic work and dry needling, and we're like hobbling around being held together with like gum and sticks,
Like literally.
That is fully you, Sarah. Like I've literally seen you hobbling around with like your back broken in half, essentially. You're like, I'm still running.
I'm going to go out there. I don't feel it when I'm moving these short little legs.
Oh, so you had the misfit toys, and then like, was that like a stance? Like you were like, I want to do agility with rescues or like unusual breeds or...
So like when I was a kid, I would just like, if I wasn't running agility or bar setting or something, like I would look through all those old like breed books,
Okay.
And I just would like, name pictures of dogs, like talk about getting real dorky with our childhood like memories. But like, I'd love certain breeds and things like that. So I didn't really have like a breed at that time that I was like, this is the one. I just pretty much felt like there were lots of dogs out there that needed a chance or needed a place. And I cared about him. And so I wanted to like, do things with them, or like with Laddie. I mean, he needed to do something. That boy could be destructive.
Yeah, we know that. We know that well.
There's Lizzie again.
Yeah, I'm back. Obi went swimming today and he had to pee so bad, so he was crying. Sorry.
Oh, babe.
Yeah. But what were we talking? That her Aussie just like can be a little bit of chaos and destruction. Yeah, if you didn't have a job. Oh yeah. Yeah, Obi's like really good, but after like 2 days of nothing, especially with like the move, if he doesn't do anything, he will literally find trouble. Like he searches for it. He will create chaos for himself. And he knows. Yeah. He knows it's wrong and it's bad, but he's like, I don't fucking care. Yeah, he's like,
it just feels so good to be bad.
Yeah. That's Obi. Yeah. What can I get into?
I want to be bad.
Yeah.
Make that look so funny. You have to play that song.
Okay.
Then we don't have to hear me singing.
Yeah.
Okay. So keep us going through the journey of Sarah.
So breed books, dorkiness. You're going through your breed books.
Yes. What led you to the Papillion?
The Papillion. So I, actually it was Stella. It was Stella. So I had lost her, and my other purposefully bred Griff had decided that there were things about agility that were scary, or things that he wasn't too sure of. And so, we tried to get through that. And in that time, because if anyone's gone through a situation where a dog is unsure or reactive, or like the picture that you thought you could paint with this dog is not actually happening, it is hard. It is so hard. And my friend and my mentor, honestly, like my best friend, you wouldn't know it to look at us, but we're like literally the same person, except I cuss way more. But it was actually Betsy Lynch, the godmother of all Papillons.
The fairy godmother.
Yeah, for sure. She basically had said, Julie has a Papillon, and she is super fast and she's super fun, and she'll run for people. And I think Julie would be okay with that. And so honestly, the first Papillon that I ever ran was your dog's grandmother.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Her name was Jem.
Julie is a Papillon breeder. Yes. Just so people know. Julie is early Papillons.
Yes, and she is who bred Flint, who was the sire of this litter. But she's been breeding Papillons for so long. And honestly, I remember her first Papillon, Luna, and she was amazing. And Luna is who created Jem, and Jem is who created Betsy's Wren. So really running Jem was just so fun, and she was just so cool. And I'd always, liked the look of Papillons, and they were fast and smart and cool, and and all this stuff. But yeah, I ran Gem, and kind of the rest is history.
Yeah.
So then where did you turn first to get a Papillon, and what made you make that decision or choose that path?
So I had tried to give my Griff Gus about a year without Stella to see, like, if I could help him in the ways that he needed to be helped. And after I it took me a while to realize, but it's like, and this is my feeling, is that dogs should like what they do, and it's fine if they have, fears or insecurities and things like that. And I'm not saying, don't try and get them over that by any means necessary, but like at some point I just had to listen to him and internalize the fact that he didn't want to do agility, and
Yeah.
that was fine.
Yeah.
So the first place that I turned was another absolutely phenomenal breeder here in the US that I think has recently stopped breeding. Her name's Donna Bradley in Indiana. Well, actually, her dog is Asher's grandfather.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, like, really notable dogs come from her, super fast dogs. Jessie Westover has a few of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Like, not a bunch of her dogs out there, but, she's bred some really nice performance dogs. So I had gotten a little girl from her, and soon after that, we kind of realized that Gus, like, really, kind of wasn't going to do agility in my Griff. And Sia was super fun. She was nicknamed the Flying Squirrel because she is 7 3/4 inches tall. She is the cutest little pipsqueak.
Oh my
But I was talking to Betsy once again, because I do that a lot, and I was talking about how I wanted to, like, try and do international stuff. And at the time, I was also actually training with Brittany Imhoff, who has Bilbo.
Yeah.
Very, very
Witcher's
well
so
known.
cute. Sorry, I had to put that in there. Witcher's cute.
Witcher is adorable. But yeah, Bilbo
He's so
was,
cute.
if people don't know, like, just a phenomenal Papillon. He was on all
Yeah.
teams and stuff like that. And, I was like, I want to see what this international stuff is about. And Betsy was like, well, maybe you should look for a bigger Papillon in the fall. And, things happened and fate intervened. Okay,
Yes.
so I guess basically, Primo, his mother is actually a world champion for Team France. Her name is Icy. She is amazing. She is beautiful and wonderful. I got in contact with a breeder because Brittany had suggested that. And basically talking, she was like, yeah, there's not a dog for you in this litter, but I can put you on the list for next time. And I was like, okay, that's cool. And then slowly people, I guess, started kind of dropping off the litter because it was Icy's first litter. And
Oh, yeah.
Corinne, his breeder, had called me, or not called me, she's in France, but she had messaged me and basically said that people were, wanting to wait for the next litter. And if I wanted a puppy from this litter, I would be last pick boy, which, fine. I didn't really know much about how these kinds of things worked. And then she said, but I need to tell you that if you don't want a puppy from this litter, there's already a full list for the next one. So,
Well,
and I'll give you 48 hours to think about it. Yeah.
wow. Okay.
So, and it was fine. It was fine. 48 hours, a couple days, like, am I willing to take the plunge? Like, this, that, and the other. And the answer was absolutely yes. Like, I was, I guess, ready to jump into this international thing, like, feet first. I'd never been out of the country for a dog show, seen a dog show out of the country. I didn't know about four-legged flicks. Yeah. So
that's so cool.
yeah.
So when you were getting Primo, were you already considering being a breeder of performance paps, or that sort of came into your head as he developed and showed how absolutely freaking amazing he is?
Yeah. The answer is like, oh my God, no. I did not ever think that I would be a breeder. I mean, I came from rescue.
Wow.
Didn't really think about it. But it's like, the thing with him is he's just so good.
He is.
He's smart. He's sweet. He has the best character. He is drivey. He is always up for a good time. He's my little party animal. But it was basically that I felt like he should have babies. Like, he is contributing something that I think is pretty great.
Yeah.
So that was pretty much, I kind of felt like it would be a disservice if I didn't kind of see what kind of thing I could come up with some thoughtfulness and stuff like that.
And he brings in like new lines to the United States that, there's probably, I don't know much about paps, but it seems like there's sort of like a few key performance breeders. So it must be great to like bring something new in. And he's of a great size for international
I was going to
stuff.
say, isn't he a little bit taller?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 13 and 5/8 inches, so he is 2 and 5/8 inches over standard.
Okay.
And there's people that have lots of feelings, and I've encountered some, and that's fine. Like one time I was at a cluster in Kentucky, and I walked through to the like breed area because they had like a cool photographer, and like, I mean, I'm used to being looked at like I have 7 heads because of dreadlocks and tattoos or whatever, but it's like they were looking at my dog like, what in God's name are you doing?
Gee, bitches.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Well,
so
I
he's
one
got
of those bitches until I was like, confirmation means absolutely nothing.
I do feel like confirmation people are very like, that is oversized and that's an abomination.
Yeah, except when you try your absolute best and then you see what gets put up and then you're like, it's money that gets put up. Like
wins in the ring.
Got it.
Yeah, I did. I tried to actually take Gus, my Griffin, to the show ring because he's from Confirmation Champions, and it was funny because I look the way I look. I was in at a show. It was summer. I had like a huge dreadlock bun. I was wearing like a turtleneck. I was covering my arms. It was awful, and it was awful. And it was him and one other dog in the class, and the other dog had a rolling gait like a Frenchie, which is great on a Frenchie, Lindsay, but not on a Griff. And like, we got totally beat by this ugly dog, and I was like, oh hell no.
Yeah.
Excuse me?
It happened to me a couple times, and I was like, and my husband came to one of the shows and like literally videoed, and the judge
didn't even look at you.
Watch me. Like, just didn't even watch me. And I was like, at least watch me. At least pretend. I paid my entry fee. I paid my money. Like, pretend to give me like my 2 minutes of ring time, but couldn't even do that. So I don't know. I have a lot of feelings, and I feel
at least in
like
agility, you know where you went wrong and how you could do better. But in Confo, it's like a mystery. Try again. You did.
Opinions and politics. Opinions and politics.
Yes. Can you hire a well-known handler?
Yeah, or they're like, put him on a handler and then he'll definitely win. I want
like, well, what's fucking do that?
Yeah.
I don't want to do that.
I tried one other confirmation show, and it was funny because I train dogs. I like to like teach dogs things, and I put them up on the table, and he was stacked, and like they were going to do the exam or whatever. And the judge had actually commented like, oh wow, like, he's really, being good for such a young dog and all this stuff. And his, when we were done, he had said, he is a little underweight. And I said, well, I do agility. And he said, oh, that makes sense. And like a way that's like bad. And I'm like, okay. And got beat again. And then when we realized that they were probably judging me and not my dog, his breeder was like, if you want me to take him in the ring, I'll take him. And he never was beat ever after that. Not once.
Yeah.
And she wanted to get I don't know much about confirmation. She wanted to get some crossover points on his sister or something. And so she handed my dog off to this Chihuahua friend of hers, a Chihuahua breeder, and said, hey, take him in the ring. And he still beat his sister with a total stranger.
Oh my God.
Stood for exam, all this stuff. He was such a good boy. So yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so pretend I'm a judgy bitch and I'm judging you for breeding your 2 inches over standard Papillon. Like, how do you make sense of breeding a dog that's out of standard for performance? And like, what's your reasoning behind that?
So like, since dogs have been put together and bred for a purpose, that's all it is. It's been bred for a purpose. And in order to do international competition, you have to jump 12 inches unless you do WAO where you can jump 10. But it's just really hard if, the cutoff is 13 3/4 over there, basically, if you have an 11-inch Papillon doing that. And like, sometimes if you go back, and not a lot of people know this, Papillons are spaniels. Papillons are working dogs. Their first name was they were called a Continental Spaniel, and their job was to flush
I
birds
had
from
no idea.
riverbanks. Yeah.
Holy shit, that makes so much sense because Asher is like insane about birds.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Not
So we're,
fucking kidding you.
yeah, like in the sky. Like, does he chase them in the sky
Yes,
sometimes?
and
Yeah.
we have bird feeders in our yard, and he's like working, and he is all about the fucking birds.
Now that I think about it, I don't think I ever considered what Papillons were bred for.
Yeah,
Well,
neither
it's
did
funny.
I.
It's funny
Well,
because last year at EO in Portugal, Annette, our coach for Team USA, was like, Papillons aren't on the breed list, and like was kind of not freaking out, but she'd messaged me, and I was like, look under Continental Spaniel. And she's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, and Papillons are listed in, for EO in Portugal last year as a Continental Spaniel.
Oh my God, I've never heard of that.
I didn't even know
Wow.
this.
I'm
Yeah.
curious, is the breed standard larger in France or elsewhere in like FCI?
I would say like FCI allows for like a little more substance to them. It seems like now I actually, like, disclaimer, I don't know that for a fact, but I do know that I've seen dogs that are conformation champions that just have, a little more height, a little more just body. They're not as fine boned as some
Yeah.
Papillons
Yeah.
over here and stuff like that. So yeah, but
Wow. So when did it like enter your head to not just like, I want to breed Primo, like in the sense of like, I'm like, I think Vision is a nice dog who has a lot of great qualities and I think he should be bred. He's got all his health testing, alert out there if you know of any Sheltie girlfriends, but I'm not like pushing it very hard. And I don't think that I'm like currently thinking I want to breed Shelties in my own home and like have my own kennel and things like that. So what was the switch from like, I think Primo
Yeah.
should have puppies
Like you're
to like,
studying him out versus
Yeah.
like I'm gonna have my own breeding program.
right. So basically the thing that made me realize I wanted to do that is because this is going to sound so cheesy, but I literally want a puppy from him for the rest of my life.
oh, that's
Not cheesy at all.
Oh my God, I love this dog so much. My husband knows it. Like, he's never jealous, but it's like I have been away from my husband so much more than I've been away from this dog. Like, it's like borderline unhealthy.
Yeah. I think we can all understand
Yeah.
that.
But
Actually.
also your husband is kind of the shit. So
It's true.
like if he's second to Primo, that's saying a lot about Primo because Jamie is kind of the best ever.
Jamie does have a fan club. He's kind of like the international man of mystery, where he's like doesn't show up to the dog events, but like the people that have known him like do sing his praises because he is a really excellent dog dad and supportive partner and all the fun stuff.
He's obsessed with you, and like the way he like cares for you was very touching and heartwarming. Like
I'm so mad I didn't get to meet him.
I had a fun time hanging out with both of you. He's a gem. He's a
I know,
diamond.
it's
in the
wild.
Is
We've
he-
been together, and we're not good at
Bucket
dates, so we think we've been together for like 18 years, but kind of questionable.
Wow.
My
crazy.
goodness.
That's crazy. Yes, he's a top tier bucket bitch.
Top
like
tier.
better than Ian. Sorry,
Ooh,
Ian.
wow.
No, I'm serious. I'm
Whoa.
serious. He like
High
yeah.
praise. High
Yeah.
praise.
He might be one of the best. I think maybe only eclipsed by Diane Patterson's husband, Billy, who
Billy.
carries
Yeah.
the seesaw on his shoulder single-handedly.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I think Jamie is really one of the best.
Yeah. Billy is literally a national treasure. He is
He's
the best, the sweetest. He's so he's adorable.
But I loved hanging out with Primo too. Like he was really good, even though like him and Vision were like two intact males. Like they still were very cool together. He's pretty bomb proof. We walked around like Amsterdam during rush hour with like bicycle frenzies, and he was like, "Yeah, this is cool. I'm fine."
Like, mom's freaking out about getting out of the city in the car since she's the one that drove, but I'm cool.
That was pretty fun. So yeah, what made you want to kind of like continue this breeding program beyond? Like, did you want to like have an impact on sports and like breed paps for other people to enjoy for performance?
I mean, as dog people, we drive. Oh,
Got some
as
screaming.
dog people, like we drive a whole lot. So it's one of those things where it's like start thinking about something, and then one thing leads to another, and then another thing leads to another. So it was just like when I started thinking about it, I started getting excited about like how to do it well. Like, how could I do it to the best of my ability? And it kind of just took off in my mind where it's like, someone took a chance on me I was some
Yeah.
lady who's been doing agility for 30 something odd years or something, but like no one knew who I was, no one cared who I was, but I ended up getting this super amazing dog. And I was thinking, like, while I'm trying to keep a Primo baby for the rest of my life, like other people are going to be able to get super amazing dogs and friends could get them. And it made me super, super excited, just to think about, you know, what I could, I guess what I could
What you
do
could
for
offer to like the like performance, like community, maybe.
Yeah, and, like, the fact that I knew he was really special, like, his mom was special, like, there's sometimes, like you see it in dogs, there's just, like, a fire, there's an intelligence, there's a soul in their eyes, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We've all seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. For
So,
sure.
so when I was first telling Rachel about you and why I thought that you would be a great breeder to reach out to, even though I don't know jack shit about Papillons, but I know you, I've always really thought that the way you speak about your breeding program and your plans and your dogs makes me think that you're like got really obsessed with thinking about the lines and the planning and the future. Like this was not something you were just like, oh yeah, let's just like put Primo with some dog and we'll go for it. Like it seems like once you started driving and thinking about this, it kind of spiraled into this obsession. And like walk us through your brain of how you've kind of gone from like, maybe I should breed this great dog to like now being thoroughly obsessed with like you have Flera and you have other lines and you have like plans for the future.
Yeah. So, one thing leading to another, and then with Primo, like kind of taking me to places that I never expected to go. Like I
Yeah.
said, I didn't know four-legged flicks was out there. I didn't know you could watch international competitions. Like I had never been to the US Open, you know what I mean? Things like that, even though I've been doing this and I feel like, I could be a grandma by now at this point. Thank goodness I'm not. Other than by Primo. But I think because I've been able to like see so many amazing dogs, like well, dogs in general, but of course Papillons. I'm looking for a Papillon that, has good character, has good structure, has drive, It's kind of I always say it's body, mind, spirit, do they have those things? And then when you see a dog and you're like, oh my gosh, like if it's talking about, breeding to Primo, it's like, I hope that dog's a girl. I hope the owner's not crazy, stuff like that. But it's just, I think it's about like, the fact that I've seen more and I care, especially coming from rescue. Like, I have had a whole host of dogs with a whole host of different problems because of the
Yes.
situations that they were in. And, I want to just create a situation where, they're stimulated young and, they're exposed to things, my craziness, noises, all the fun stuff. But yeah, it was just a matter of just access and getting excited and like thinking about what I would like to do. Like, because you don't want to make a misstep. It's a huge responsibility, like a massive responsibility.
A lot of pressure.
Like, yeah, it is a lot of pressure.
So much losing sleep over type of pressure, but it's good. It's rewarding. And then I, get to see my puppy owners with their parents doing stuff, learning things, being curious and excited. And it's, that's what makes it all worth it.
Super rewarding. Yeah. That's really cool. So you talked a little bit about like the qualities or the traits you're breeding for. If someone asked you, like, how would you lay out what you're looking for in your breeding program? Or I'm sure it's different when you're breeding Primo versus when you're breeding Flera.
I mean, like it's like a generalization. Like it could just be body, mind, spirit, like structure and physicality. And I'm not necessarily, talking about like for agility specifically, but like good musculature, a neck. We want some shoulders. Like I look at the angulation and things like that. And, as far as their mind, I like them to be intelligent. I like them, understand things and want to learn things and, just their character, like their spirit, like who they are.
Yeah, that's really cool. And I think that shines through in Asher and
Oh my
all
God,
of your dogs that I've seen. Like they definitely sort of seem very well rounded and you put a lot of care into them.
He's a great little guy. Yeah. Ash has a lot of personality.
Yeah.
He's a spunky little guy.
Zest for life.
Yes, he does.
I feel like there can be this like, oh, Paps can be like super soft or kind of weird or
Not
like
mine.
Yeah.
Not mine. Not my guy.
Definitely not. No, he was always like, I'm gonna throw myself into any situation and ask questions later kind of guy. Yeah.
He throws himself onto me all the time. Like, I'll just be like sitting on the floor and like we would just be playing with a toy, and all of a sudden he's like in my face.
Yes.
And I'm like, where did you come from? Yeah, he flings himself around like truly like all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's like when I came to visit and
perfectly.
I love it. When he saw me and he was like climbing my face and kissing me when I came to visit, I was just like, stop, cutest thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Over the moon.
Yeah.
So now you've had how many litters as part of your primetime Papillon breeding program?
Just 2. Yeah,
Yeah.
he had another couple litters, and then I have his daughter Maven from the first litter, and she's amazing. She is, whew, she is
She seems really cool.
yeah, she's amazing. But yeah, so I've had 2 litters. The first one was with Primo, and we had 2. It ended up being that one it ended up being a singleton. The one
that's
puppy,
right. Yeah.
we kind of knew with the X-ray that he was just kind of like lighter in the X-ray, and then they did the ultrasound, and he was moving, he was doing stuff. But yeah, that was that. Oh man, people say breeding is hard, and it does not. Like nothing can prepare you for that kind of heartbreak. But
Yeah.
when that happened, I had a lot of people reach out to me, people that had bred, people telling me stories. And honestly, some of these stories that these breeders were telling me are like unimaginable, like fighting for weeks to find out that your dog has something, your little teeny puppy that you've been nursing to health had like, some awful problem that was going to be imminent and painful, and they'd have to put him down. So yeah, it's not for the faint of heart, to say the least. But yeah,
and it's really hard that was like your first litter too. I feel like there's probably a part of me that would have wanted to just throw in the towel and be like, "Fuck this!" I'm not doing it.
Trust and believe.
Continue.
Yeah, trust and believe that, after I lost him, I was like, I'm never doing this again. I'm never doing this again. There's no way at all. But then, like, Stellar was just such an amazing little puppy. I mean, he looked just like Primo. I mean, he was secretly a tricolor, which no one knew, but I knew he was like, I think they call it a minimal tri. But I could see like little hints of brown. But yeah, he was amazing. And like watching him learn stuff, because I'd never done it before. Like people are always like, oh, week 4 is great. Oh no, week 5 is the best. And every week it just got better and better and cooler. And I got to, show him the world in little teeny pieces, and, get him so that he loved people and places and sounds and all the stuff. And it was really rewarding. And he landed in such a good home, and I was just really lucky about that.
Oh, so that made it worthwhile. And then I'm just curious, I believe you had like a mentor. Like, do you think you would have been able to survive doing this without someone like Betsy? Or I think that was who was your mentor in breeding. Like, how would you have been able to make it through without someone like sort of hand holding you through the first or maybe even second experience?
All of the experiences forever. No, I think where there's a will, there's a way. But when you have someone that you have looked up to, who is such an amazing person, dog owner, competitor, when you have them, guiding you honestly, if you're friends with someone, they'll tell you, when things are good or bad. That was really, really instrumental in helping me like calm down, like about like whelping the puppies and like certain things. But like with her guidance, I always knew that I was in the best hands.
Oh, that's so awesome. She seems like a great compliment to your skills and strengths, and someone who's like really generous with her time to help you raise them. Was it any easier going to litter number 2, or maybe harder because now there were 4?
Yeah. There were ways that were easier and harder. Like I was always worried that Stellar was bored. So like, or that he needed me or he needed something. So like for 6 weeks, I slept on an air mattress in my spare bedroom.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I was nearly crippled.
I'm like, with your back?
Yeah. Girl.
Yeah, but this one was, and the thing is, I will say, having my first litter where a little, 2-ounce preemie baby didn't make it after a couple days, and having a singleton and stuff like that, I'm almost happy that it happened the way it did and not in reverse, because I had never experienced puppies being puppies together, like firsthand, 24 hours a day. Like I had access to like Maven's Litter's puppy camera. You know, Sharon is witching our Papillons, wonderful, most amazing woman. You know, and so I'd seen stuff, you know, I'd seen what they were doing and, you know, things like that. But, you know, watching them interact and play was unreal. It was so cute.
Yeah. Was it much harder?
Lots of laundry, lots of laundry. Lots of wiping things down with peroxide wipes, lots of, it was a lot of stuff. But, you know, they're babies. They need cleaned up after. And, you know, it was really fun watching them though. Like the extra amount of like work and cleaning and like having armfuls of puppy, moving them from one pen to another, like, you know, in their bedroom versus like in a living room pen or outside or whatever. Like, you know, that took some adjustment. But it's like when someone hands you a baby, like if it's not your baby, you're like, oh my God, I can't handle them. But, you know, I could like pick up 4 puppies in my arms and open a door and do all sorts of stuff. You know, you just kind of get used to it.
When you're planning like breeding Primo to Flera or Flera to Flint, like what are your thought processes in considering those matchups, and like what are you hoping for when you think about that, you know, combination?
I like to think about like what will complement each other. So Flera is ridiculously fast. I mean, and it pisses Primo off in the field when they're back there running, and he's like, "Wait a second, bitch, how'd you catch up to me? How'd you pass me?" So she's ridiculously fast. But the thing about Flare is she is just great. Like any situation, she's the best like hiker. She's the best loose leash walker. She is always fine with everything, noises, situations. It didn't matter. Like for instance, actually, Betsy had to take her to be bred because I was going to the US Open when it was time for her to do the deed. And, and Betsy knew her, you know, I'd always, you know, talk about her or whatever. And we did some training and stuff together. And, you know, I always said she's just awesome. Like she's just inflappable. And she believed me, obviously, but, you know, she took her and afterwards she was like, I can't believe what she put up with. You know, Flint was kind of a little hard to collect or whatever, but it's like she was fine. Doctors touching her. She, you know, she knew Betsy obviously, but not super well. But yeah, like she's just solid. And, you know, so like as far as like her and Primo, like I know her body so well, I know her mind so well that I really felt like they would make a good pairing. And then like with Flint, he's a spicy little quesadilla, man. He is fun. He is fast. You know, so with them, it was one of those things where it's like, you know, I do like a bigger Papillon, and Flare does have a bit of size to her. Nothing like Primo, but she's a bigger girl. And, you know, with his absolute drive and, you know, mind for agility. I mean, that's what he was bred for. I mean, Julie of Air League Papillons has been breeding Papillons, like not as like a big time breeder, but like for 20 years, you know what I mean? A lot has gone into that dog. And we all felt that it would really kind of complement each other. And Julie actually has Firefly, the girl from my litter, because she kind of, she's super sweet. I actually got to see her the other week. It was really cool. But she wanted a little size and it was cool.
That's awesome. So that's really interesting. And I feel like, again, a very pressure filled situation. Like, am I doing the right thing? Is this the right match? Is it going to be like healthy? Are they going to complement each other? Or is one like side going to show up more than the other? But everything's a fucking crapshoot. So you're just doing your best. So when it's time to like, you know, solicit applications and review them and, you know, talk to people and vet them and then look at the puppies' personalities and match them. Like, how are you managing dealing with that? Because that seems actually like maybe the worst part.
I think that's probably the hardest part. Yeah. I feel like if I ever, not that I'm ever plan on breeding ever, because I would keep them all actually probably, but like I don't know how I would like pick people. Like I think I'd have a hard time trusting people. Like, you're going to take good care of this puppy? Are you sure? Like, are you sure? Like, are you positive?
Right. Yeah. I mean, and the thing with that is it is stressful. It is hard. It is something that you worry about. And like, probably like the hardest part of it is, especially as a Papillon breeder, I will never have enough puppies to go around. Like, you know, it's just kind of an unfortunate situation, but you know, when I think about it, I always just think about like being well-rounded. And like part of what I ask for is references. And something that I think is pretty important is like, Lindsay, not to toot your own horn too much. You'll enjoy this.
Please toot my horn.
But since I knew you, I respected you. I liked you. I liked how you treat your dog. I liked how you processed information. You very well-rounded person. We hit it off, and she had you as a reference, and I was like, you know what? Me and Rachel had some like good, messages back and forth and all this stuff. Like we really just kind of hit it off. But then it was like, that was a nice bonus because I'm like, I really trust you. I trust your opinion. And I know that you respect kind of what I was trying to do and stuff. So I knew you would like, say anything or, try and get me to give it to someone that wouldn't do what's right by them,
Yeah. No, I mean, it's like, it's really hard because I wouldn't put my name behind anybody. You know what I mean? Like, and that's awkward. Like, there's sometimes where people, oh, can you put in a good word for me with so-and-so? And it's like,
she's
I don't want to target. Like, not that I think there's people out here that are asking me that who are like doing horrible things, but like,
she's like, I can't vouch for them. And I'm like, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
And like, I just know that Rachel's wants line up with what you're trying to produce. And I just felt like I thought that you would get along really well interpersonally.
We did. Oh my God. We started talking. We were like, I'd be on the phone with you for like hours. And I'm like, oh my God, we're best friends already. This is perfect.
Yeah. I mean, it means a lot to have a breeder that you can have a good relationship and open communication with. Like, there's stuff that comes up and I reach out to Jen and I reach out to Adriana and I tell them what's going on. And it's just like having someone who's in my corner, who supports me, who will be open and honest to the highest degree with me. I think like Adriana and I had a moment where I was like, I kind of like this other puppy because I met them at 6 weeks and she just was really brutally honest with me of like, no, you told me what you want and I know these puppies better than anyone else. And we had enough trust, hopefully, with each other that I was like, okay, I trust you. And she like trusted me. And then, I got the perfect dog for me. But if you don't have that kind of open relationship with someone, it can get really awkward or go really south, or you just feel unsupported and kind of like alone out there if you don't have that. So I knew that you two would hit it off and your goals were similar. And I just felt like it was a great match. And I know Rachel's going to, just give that little prince everything. He's going to get
she already has. Oh my gosh.
He's going to get everything you would ever
on
want.
A silver platter, literally.
Yeah. And when we went out, like when I was up there for the Spring Frenzy and we went to get food, I mean, honestly, like I was blown away. You had only had him for like 2 weeks. Like, okay, now I'm about to toot Rachel's horn. Yeah, like,
oh my God.
I mean, we're sitting there and, she's holding this puppy that I love dearly. And I thought I knew. And, he's a little bit crazy. We've established. And, there's cornhole going on. There's a dude on a skateboard. She puts this like little, mat down for him and gives him a chewy when our food comes. And he just lays there. And this lady comes by and he stops chewing and he looks at her and she's like, oh, wow, what a nice puppy. And, she's talking to Rachel and he's looking at her. He doesn't get up. And I also don't know how people around like dog etiquette, like not to just touch the dog, like the dog's doing something, it's being good. So I was impressed by the lady too.
It's not the lady. Do you want to know what the secret is? It's Rachel's face.
It's literally Rachel's face.
It's the best resting bitch face you've ever seen that just screams, don't fucking touch my dog.
I've gotten it to be really great because everyone wants to fucking touch Chessie and I'm like, leave her the fuck alone. She's not here for your entertainment. I know she's gorgeous. Don't touch her.
Yeah, so that's the key is just
be with Rachel because she looks like a fucking bitch.
Like people will come up to us and be like, oh, can I pet your dog? And I'm like, oh yeah. And Rachel like walks the other direction.
You would never know from looking at her. People would think I'd be the one like that, but no.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome.
Rachel's like, no. Yeah. It's so all the time.
When you announced like the flare litter, like how many people reached out? I bet it was just a huge amount. Like I don't even know how you would sort through all that.
Yeah, it was a lot. So with the first litter, I didn't really know what I was doing, and I kind of was just, we had 2 puppies. I knew that. So I didn't actually I had people that were interested, but I hadn't reached out to anybody with that one. With this one, someone had suggested doing like a little questionnaire that is stored and it's think it's like a Google something or other. I'm
A
not,
Google
as
form.
we
It was
established
Google
earlier.
form.
Yeah, I'm not good with computers, but they were like, you can keep everything in one place, ask the questions, you can sort it, you can file stuff, you can make notes or whatever. And so I did that. So that was a way to keep me nice and organized. Because if you guys saw like my puppy interest list before I did that questionnaire, it's ridiculous. It's like in a notebook, and it's like my handwriting's bad, and it's like notes like I met them at EO tryouts in 2020, like super nice, whatever. So that worked out really well. But there was a lot of interest in, and that's the thing that is hard, is that you won't have enough puppies to go around for everyone that wants one, and you're gonna probably disappoint some friends and or people that you wish you just had more puppies, but it's the situation that we're in.
Yeah, that's hard. Well, I mean, I feel like I've learned so much. Like what is it? The Continental Spaniel. I didn't even know they were spaniels.
But
been
it
really
so
cool.
makes sense now. It makes so much sense. Yeah.
To learn from you. You're someone who like fully does all of your research. But I think the other side of Sarah Rutland is the hot takes and the spicy considerations. So I'm just curious if you have any like hot takes about being a breeder, or like big icks as a breeder, or just, I don't know, anything that stands out to you as like, oh, I would never do this, or I want to make sure I do that.
Yeah, like I would say like the biggest ick is integrity, is like people hiding things.
Yeah.
And like I don't know if it's because of the way that like I look, where it's like as a very young mother covered in tattoos with dreadlocks, people already like assumed something about me that wasn't true, or I have these young kids or whatever, but like my youngest is 26, and he's a second-year law student at a really prominent law school here. So it's like,
Yeah. Yay. You did that. No.
I did it. He did it, actually. He is way smarter than me.
You supported him to do that.
It is true. It is true. But yeah, so I think part of it is like I have what I think is a decent amount of integrity, to where like my biggest ick, I would say, is like when people are hiding stuff. Like if you're going to do something, be proud of it. Say it with your whole fucking chest.
Yes.
If you are not proud of it, you probably shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like people do stuff for like social pressure, to like keep up with things, or because they feel like they have to, or because they've just been in that community for so long. I have to keep breeding. Like, do you have anything worth breeding, or are you just breeding to breed? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we're all like,
or are you breeding for yourself, or are you only doing it for yourself?
Yeah. But like, we're like, oh wow, like Julie's been breeding for 20 years, and like that's amazing. I'm not saying this is her, but we're all like, wow, that's such an accomplishment. That's amazing. But like, do other people feel that pressure to just like keep pumping them out because you want people to point to you and say like, look what you've done, and that means that maybe you're breeding not for preservation of the breed or the betterment of the breed.
Right. I feel like you'll see that. Definitely. Like we've all seen that. We all know that. We know of the places that pump out dogs. But when we think about like with Julie, I mean, I could count on probably, 2 hands how many litters she's had. She doesn't breed a lot of dogs. You're very lucky to get a dog from some breeders that do it casually when they feel like they have something that's really nice that they want to put together. And I think, it's hard. And in order to do it the right way, I don't think I could have, a litter after litter after litter after litter. Like it takes a lot out of you. Like, you have to, take little short car rides, and you have to take them and feed them other places, and feed them on different plates and dishes. And you want them to eat in a hotel, and you want them to eat at a trial site, or like, the sounds, the smells, the everything, like when their senses start changing, it's a lot of work to do it the right way. I mean, but it's rewarding. So it doesn't feel like work. You're playing with puppies, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I love that perspective. That's very fun. So what's next for Primetime Papillons? Can you give us any sneak peeks, or just any broad goals that you have?
I don't feel like, even though I've had a couple litters, my repro vet had suggested, because she had such a small litter, to do a second breeding on her next heat cycle, which was great. And we're going to take a break. Because also through part of this, I saw Rachel at Westminster. I had done Westminster and EO tryouts, but other than that, like I didn't do anything. I mean, if you think about it, I keep my puppies till about, roughly 12 weeks. So for 6 months out of this year, I've had puppies in my house. I'm
Right.
tired, you know?
And you want to see them grow out and see how they end up and
Right.
and what qualities you like and what you might change in the future. That makes sense.
One part of being smart, the other thing is, and some people have asked how I've done this, is that I haven't kept a puppy that I have whelped in my house yet.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't the strength you showed.
Yeah.
Well,
seriously.
I came from rescue, remember?
Keep them all. I keep
Yeah.
them all.
I've thought that before. Each one I've been like, I can't let this one go. I can't let this one go. But I have to pull out my old rescue hat and just, talk about them like they're someone else's, you know what I mean? And just prepare yourself emotionally for it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you did co-owns with your puppies too. Like Asher's a co-own. So
part of the whole thinking about it and obsessing about it, truthfully, is so all 4 of the puppies that I just had are not related to Primo or his daughter Maven. So when I think about the future, I'm thinking about, what these puppies will turn out to be, and who they are and things like that. And will I have something else from Primo or Maven that might complement them in the future and stuff like that? So, if I want to keep breeding, then, I've got some options and they found wonderful homes, for different reasons. And we got a couple that are doing conformation and agility, a couple that might just do agility. So it's really cool. And I never thought I would, especially considering the size of dogs I normally have, I never thought I would be breeding some potential future conformation champions. But
yeah.
Oh, wow. Now those judgy compo people are going to have to eat their words.
I know. Actually, Asher's brother Prism is with a really wonderful lady in Tennessee, and she has been getting so many compliments on him, saying
Stop. I know we text all the time now, me and Lindsay, and it sounds like Prism's doing really, really well. So I'm really excited for her.
Her instructor had said, this is best in show material, really, really, and she's like, oh, I get so much pressure. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my
That's crazy.
gosh. That's amazing.
So if someone was listening and they're thinking about approaching a breeder like you, not someone who's well, I just mean someone who's breeding more, like you said, casually, not all the time, just because they have something special. What would be your advice to someone who wanted to look for a performance dog, maybe from a breeder like yourself?
I'd say patience. Just
yeah.
Good things come to those who wait type of thing. And, really it's good to ask questions about their parents, because one thing that people, think is we could tell the future, will this dog be able to do agility? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I can tell you who the parents are and I can tell you this puppy that I raised and who I'm giving to you, but I can't tell you for certain, if this is going to come to fruition, but you always hope.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Just it being inquisitive and curious, but not expecting you to predict the future and look in your crystal ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was really fun to have you on. And usually we say where to find people on social media, but you're not the biggest technology person.
Girl, no.
And you post about Primo's amazing accomplishments and Maven's training on Facebook. So we love to see that.
You do have a puppy page, a Facebook page. You do have the Primetime Papillons page. So people can go and find you via that as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And I do need to get better about posting stuff. I've done so many things and I certain people know that I don't tend to post all that much because I don't know.
I feel like you're a very present person. You're not a glued to your phone social media whore type of person. So,
but I just like to go out and do stuff. You know what I mean? Or just I'm hanging out with my dogs. I literally have. I mean, they're all right here. Right here. Maven, Primo, Sia, Clara. Yeah, they're all here.
Gang's all there. This was really cool to talk to you, Sarah. Thank you so much for joining us, and we should do this again sometime. This was really fun.
It was super fun. Or just get together at a show and have fun and be awesome.
Just have a yap session. Yeah. I love it. Well, thank you so much. This was awesome. Well, that's a wrap on this week's episode. Rachel, where can our listeners find us on the internet?
You can find us at Bitches in Season on Instagram and TikTok, and on Facebook, Bitches in Season with a 1 in it.
Oh, stupid Facebook makes us have a 1 in the word bitches.
And you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and YouTube Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye!